Jay, I am so excited because we're about to drop a new collection of designs. I have been working on a new set of Kaiju parody shirts. It is going to be available on the website for the first time.
Right now, as you're watching
Right
this.
now.
Right now.
It is literally there right now. I have a gaggle of new designs. They're all anime themed this time around. And I think I went with more or less my favorites from the current wave of anime.
Yeah.
I do think that there's a few that need to be added on from the current ones that are sketched but not ready. However, we have Luffy in his Gear 5 form, which is awesome. We have Rudo from the anime that I will not pronounce because I will pronounce it wrong, but I watched it. I loved it. I love that show. It is so unique, so different, so cool. And this is my favorite design of the entire collection. Easy. We also have Gojo and Gato because I got Jay to watch Jujutsu Kaisen Season 1, movie, and 2. We're about to start Season 3. We're very excited. We also have Frieren. And because if I don't do a new Sonic the Hedgehog t-shirt every single time I make a release, Jay said he will move out.
Yeah.
There is a shadow.
Yeah.
And I think this shadow is probably the best shadow I've done so far.
It is the best shadow of all our designs so far, in my opinion. It is so good.
He looks really good.
He looks great.
I feel like with this collection, I have now tapped into the zone of what I want with this series. I know exactly how I want the backgrounds to work. I know exactly how I want the fringe of the rising sun circle behind the designs. I know exactly how I want the silhouettes to work, the amount of detail I want in them. I know I want the text at the back, which I had on some shirts, I didn't have on some other shirts. I didn't know what to do with it. Now it is decided, thanks to votes on Instagram. Thank you, Instagram, for helping us choose. I also know exactly how I want to do the lettering because the lettering was quite inconsistent with the first few, which means that over the next few months, I am going to have to go back and revisit all the old designs. There's not that many. There's actually...
It's not too bad.
It's not too bad. It's not too bad. As an example, I would say that the Springtrap that I'm wearing now, the background was already consistent with what I want to do now.
Yes.
Versus what I was doing in the beginning. So it was a progression from the first design to the last one. And now I want to go back and refine that collection because it is going to be one of the bigger collections that I'm going to have on my table. I'm even considering going as far as making enamel pins out of this set. Just like, you know, I think so. I think I want to not only do a new enamel pin set from this series, but also I will be expanding to new types of enamel pins that I've never done before with this set. To keep the painterly look, to keep the no lines. I don't want any lines on the pin, which I don't know how that is possible, but I'm going to try. I'm going to try and screen print the whole thing, which is crazy. Anyway, that is not what this episode is about. The episode is about the launch of this fantastic new collection that I've been working on, despite being severely ill. Again, as you have seen on my Instagram, I have not been very well. We also have been dealing with preparing for the convention, finishing these designs on time, preparing for the live shows that we're going to have at AnimeCon. We're so excited. My brain is fried.
Your brain is fried. But basically, new set, new collection coming out, new set to the Kaiju range, which I'm very excited about. And it works out very well because what we want to talk about today is what it takes to build a new collection. So the timing really is perfect. And if you're very lucky, due to popular demand, we might even discuss some of our hyperfixations in the episode. So you want to stay tuned for that.
How about that?
How about that? I think it's time we hop over to the other side of the intro.
Let's do it. Let's go. All right, so the first step in making a new collection of any sort is something beyond the collection itself, and that is, what is your goal out of this? Why are you building a new collection? Now, us artists, we tend to do things because we want to. However, generally, when you go in with a more specific and targeted plan, you kind of get ahead further before you reach that first roadblock of, oh, what do I do next? So in my case, the going into drawing the Kaiju series, the question was, why do I need to do this? And in reality, I had pigeonholed myself into doing a lot of kawaii work, which is still very dear to my heart. However, that had put me into a certain specific niche. And unfortunately, as much as I love that niche, it is a niche that is so niche, it is the nichest of the niches, because not many people buy bright pink t-shirts or light blue t-shirts. A lot of people like simpler tones. I also wanted to touch base with an art style that I hadn't worked with in a long time. I really loved working on my Drag City series back in the day that were official t-shirts that I worked with alongside RuPaul's Drag Race.
Oh yeah.
Name dropping.
Yes.
And that style was very minimalistic. It was inspired by Sin City, which was grayscale.
Yes.
Monochrome. Monochrome, right?
Yeah, basically.
Monochrome. Yeah. Oh my god. Words. Foreigner. A monochrome style with one accent color, which my favorite color when it comes to like pop art and so on is red. I absolutely love red, and I thought that I would use that color. I wanted to do something similar in that style so I don't end up losing it entirely. And also, I remember selling Drag City back in 2019 at conventions, and even though I had so much kawaii work on my table, having something that was a black t-shirt with black and white and a splash of red attracted such a different genre than my usual customers. So I thought, I kind of want to try something similar to that. And the first parody that I had in mind was a Godzilla poster. And because he is the king of the Kaiju, Kaiju number 8, Kaiju number 8 as the king of the Kaiju, Godzilla parody poster, black, white, and red, and this was born. So it's an amalgamation of why. Why do you want to build a new collection? There are so many reasons. You want to try a new style. You want to try a different style of IP, or it doesn't even have to be an IP. It could be you want to start working on different kinds of birds, or different kinds of puppies, or different kinds of flowers. Maybe you want to try a new product. Maybe you don't do t-shirts, and now you're listening to this and you're like, oh, he's saying that black t-shirts are in and people like minimalistic things. Maybe I'm going to try something new and do that on t-shirts, right? Maybe you want to do something that is completely different and bring brand awareness to yourself or to something that you're very passionate about. It is Pride season in June, and people who never thought about Pride will start working on a Pride collection.
Yeah.
See, that is an example. They probably shouldn't, but they will. Spoiler. And again, these are all different reasons why you would want to build a collection. Once you hone on that, once you decide the why, everything else kind of falls into place.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that's one thing I've seen with this collection, especially, is that I think it also helps build an awareness, because I think people will know you for those t-shirts now. So like people, it almost helps build up that brand as well. So people are like, oh, I've come to see what your latest kaiju designs are. And I think that really helps when there's a, like you said, there can be different niches, but when people identify you for like, oh, I love his pin set, or I love his, in this case, the kaiju, I think it does help build like a loyalty with the fans that you have.
It does. It makes your table and your work a lot more memorable. Yeah. I stopped working on Disney cereal box designs such a long time ago. However, I think the collection that most people come back to my table and ask me, oh, did you make a new design of that? Is the Disney cereal box designs, which I'm not going to do more, even though I have many sketched, but maybe they will be on a kaiju poster soon.
You never know.
Spoiler. Spoiler.
I think, the other question I have about this specifically, like the starting point, because the idea of like, I know I want to build a new collection. Do you think it's a good motivating factor that you might want to use it as a reason to sort of turn around maybe misfortunes you've had in the last year or so? Like, is that a good motivation to like use?
I guess yes, to a point, yes. Coincidentally, I did the Kaiju number 8 one, mostly because, like I said, artists generally want to do what they want to do, and 2014 started off as such a bad year. And then I was on a Discord call and I was explaining this idea for a collection, and my friend Ben was like, do it. And I'm like, I'm not sure if this will sell though, because Kaiju number 8 is big, but we don't really see it at cons. It felt really niche. And he said, just do it for you then.
Yeah.
You know, do a t-shirt that you can wear for yourself when you go out. And I did. And it worked out. So
I think that's one of the strongest pieces of advice you can give. Like, what would you want? If you came to your table, what would you want to buy from it?
Exactly that. Yeah. Exactly.
Thinking of buying stuff from tables, though, like, even if you have like a vision for like, okay, this is where I want, this is why I'm doing this going into the new year. We're already in February. We're already in March, basically, at this point. It's crazy. Time goes by too quickly. But I guess you can't look forward without also looking back to help inform those decisions about what that collection should be. And I guess I'm curious as to what are the sort of important things you would look at in the last year. Like, what would you look at? What are some important things that could help you decide or plan what a future collection could be? Is there anything?
Okay, so the best way I can answer this, right, is when you start a new collection, you are dabbling. It is not going to be like a banger from the first few things that you put out, right? Everything is a learning curve, even when building a new collection. So going into this one, I put out a lot of different things. We had a Kaiju number 8 design. We had a Dun Da Dun design. We had a Springtrap, which is obviously not connected in any other way with the anime titles. We then brought out 2 D&D designs, which are the Mind Flare and the Owlbear, right, for UK Games Expo. We also brought out 2 K-pop Demon Hunters designs, which are Jinu and Derpy and Sussy on another one. And finally, we brought out Sukuna. Now, with all those designs out there, it was a matter of seeing if we put those designs forward to the appropriate audiences, tongue twister, say that quickly 5 times, which ones sell and which one don't. As it turns out, Mind Flayer did well
Yeah.
Owlbear did not do well.
No.
Derpy did not do well at all.
Yeah.
While Genu did.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. This flew off the shelf every time.
They almost sold out.
Right?
They did sell out at one point, yeah.
Sukuna also sold. And if I had to classify which designs are the weakest, I would probably say that the Sukuna design is my least favorite. Mostly because I really wanted to have that done specifically for this one event. And we were tight on time.
Yeah.
I didn't do any shade, any detail, anything on him. I finished the line art, I finished the background, finished the wording, didn't do the back wording because it was going to take too long.
Yeah.
And I sent it out for print. And it still sold. Because sometimes the things you put least effort into are the things that people like. And Kaiju number 8 did well when the Kaiju number 8 seasons were on. And Dan Da Dan did well when the first season of Dan Da Dan was on, right? But with all that information, now I know that soft characters like the Owlbear, like Derpy, just, even though in my mind they are titans of pop culture, right? That is why I have them in my head as kaiju. It's not because they're monsters or because they're evil or because they're killers. It's because all these characters are titans of pop culture. They're super famous, they're super popular, and more or less anyone within that circle would know that character, right? Because they're softer characters, they just didn't fit the aesthetic that made people click like, oh yeah, I want that connected to that in that style.
Yeah.
Right? So now the new characters, Shadow, Rudo, Luffy, they're all powerful characters, powerful protagonists that do not fit in the soft, cozy vibe.
Yeah.
The riskiest one of the new titles is Freeren. That is very delicate. She is very demure, very mindful. But I would say that her posture shows a lot of power.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So hopefully that will make up for it. Yeah. But we will only see. To answer your question, yes, you need to examine every step you take in your new collection, which you will be releasing in batches over time. You will assess what has been selling, what hasn't been selling, and try to understand why. In my case, it was because the characters didn't quite fit in the grand scheme of the mindset that the viewer was seeing them as, and therefore I had to make changes.
Yeah, and I can only speak for myself and my creative side, but if anyone else relates to me, and there is that struggle to want to like keep an eye on data and records of like what does well, what doesn't, that sort of thing. But I think you made a really good point. Actually, it's really important as on the business side of it. You need to treat it like a business and just have an understanding of like, you have an idea, it's something you want to do and it's something that appeals to you, but you need to understand where that path cross with what everyone else that had the money wants as well. So I think it's really, really important. You mentioned as well a wonderful friend Ben about the idea of designing what do you want. And I guess how would you say there's a 50-50 split, or what way do you lean when it comes to designing what you want versus what your audience wants when you're thinking about creating a new collection?
So this is going to be one of those like pageanty answers.
We love a pageant answer.
At the same time, it is very, very truthful for a variety of reasons for me. This is my truth. When I was starting with designing fan art for to sell for like pop culture websites and so on and so forth, I had the big dilemma of, oh my goodness, this is theft, this is blah, 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 blah. And in reality, the person who I was speaking to, the person who I was doing the work for, they said there is a very vast difference between you drawing something that you don't know to make money out of it versus you making money out of your work for drawing something you love.
Yeah.
Right? So I am very proud to say that marginally, there's maybe like you can pick out of the hundreds of things on my website, you can pick maybe 10 things that are on that website that I have not seen or don't know about as properly as I want to, right?
And that's out of a lot of design.
Out of
crap.
Thousands. There's literally like thousands of products, right? And at the time that I was making plans for that thing, I might not have known about it. But since then, I have. A very good example is when I did my first Metal Sonic design. I didn't know who Metal Sonic was. I just liked the look of the character. Did I ace it? Maybe. Did I end up really enjoying and loving the character? Definitely. So I would say that in my experience, I generally try to only draw things I want to draw. Right? But does that mean that every specific design is drawn because I want to draw it or because I think the audience will grab it? As an example, my Sonic Hero series, that is completely drawn based on I think I need more t-shirts for SonicCon. Do I like that series? No. It's very simple. Do I think that it's objectively good or a bad series? I think that the Team Rose one is quite cute.
It's very
I
cute.
think the Team Dark one is quite cute.
I like that one.
I absolutely despise the other two designs, but they were done, even though I liked the topic and I wanted to do them, they were done purely because you said that a Chow design would do well. And I felt silly having all the teams except for Team Sonic. So I forced myself to do it. You can tell. I think you can tell. When you look at the four of them, you can tell the two that were the unloved children and the two that had their college fund invested.
Damn.
Right?
Damn it.
But I would say that you need to always draw what you are passionate about and what you're happy with. But at the end of the day, you have bills to pay. You have to also think about what your customer is wanting. You need to, it's just not something that is avoidable. It is genuinely inevitable that you need to be in the mindset, in order to be successful as a business, you need to be in the mindset of, I love these 20 things, make a list. I have this list of kaiju designs is like 100 designs long. And then I choose which ones I think will work best with the audience and go from there.
I think for me, and I'm in a very different position because this isn't my full-time job, there's a few designs I have done, but I guess, and a thing for me anyway, is that if you were to say there were two tick boxes, like what is going to be popular and what do I personally love, I don't view them as two. You can tick both, basically. So it's a case of like, if it's something I love, I might doodle it or mess around with it, but it has to tick both boxes to then get to the point where we then collaborate on it. There are many things that I love that I don't think would be popular, so I don't pursue it. At the same time, I think if there are things that, again, this is me personally, the things that were probably going to be really popular, but I just had no interest in it, to watch it, to see it, I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it.
No.
It wouldn't be a good product.
There's a lot of people who do, and you can tell.
So
we can always tell when we're walking around the alley and realize that you drew something that you had absolutely no idea about, but you just wanted to have that product on your table. And the customer can tell as well.
And the one good thing, I guess, is Not always, but more often than not, if something's really popular, it's because it's good, and therefore you watch the thing and think, oh, I can see why everyone loves it. I love it too. Therefore, it becomes quite easy to fall into that place. But yeah, I think it needs to tick both boxes for me.
Yeah.
To be something that.
In fact, the way that you're describing it is a very, very good method for people who aren't sure where to go with it and what design to work on next. Make a long list of all the things you think would work for your collection. 25 designs.
Yeah.
List them all down. Make it an Excel sheet and then do 2 more columns. One where you tick if you specifically want to work on it.
Yes.
How passionate you are about it. Tick all those that you want to. And then tick all the ones that you think will be bestsellers as concepts.
Yeah.
Is there a new season of Free Run out? Is there a new season of Jujutsu Kaisen out? Is there a voice actor showing up at the next event that you're doing? All those things. Have them ticked as, yes, this would sell because of that, because of that, because of that, because of that. The ones that have both ticks are the ones that you should work on first and prioritize them.
Yeah.
And then go down the list accordingly. Yeah. Sometimes you'll end up not working on the things that are popular but you're not into, and sometimes you'll end up working on something that is a little bit more popular but you didn't think you'd like, and then somehow end up liking it.
Yeah, so that's the way to do it. You mentioned like just list 25 designs and then go through that. How many designs, and this is going to vary depending on the people I know, but like for you personally, I guess, how many designs, let's say you listed 25 designs, and let's say magically they're all both ticked. When will you go, okay, this is how many I can do? What are you taking into consideration when you think like, is it like what the next event's coming up? Is it budgets? What are you taking into account?
Okay, so I have a set of conventions in my mind, in the air, that I need new stuff for.
Yes.
Right? Generally, it is MCM May, MCM October, right? That is like the 2 pillar conventions where I need to have a boatload of new designs, right? And then I have conventions that are sporadic in between them, right? One, and one. And I try to have half of the collection that I need for MCM ready by that point.
Yeah.
And then MCM, then half, and then MCM again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My goal every year at this point is that by every October MCM, the entire wall behind me is different. And that is a total of 36 t-shirts. So in a year from one October to another, I want to have 36 t-shirts changed, preferably. If a design is a constant bestseller, then I'm not going to be stupid. I'm not going to remove a bestseller just to,
replace it.
But that said, if I have a consistent... Are our mics good?
Yeah, sorry.
If I have a consistent plan of what to change and what I'm aiming for, then I'm going to go with that.
Yeah, I think because this current one we're releasing is 6 new designs.
Yes.
And that's 6 new designs that have been made since our last event, which was end of January.
Yes.
So the space of a month.
Yes.
The turnaround time on that
has been wild.
How do you do that? Wow, we've talked a lot about this podcast about burnout.
Yeah.
Is there any tips you would give to like pace that or to approach that?
I am literally the worst person to ask. I am ill with an asthmatic chest infection. I am aching. I haven't slept in about 2 weeks properly. And I am still designing things because it needs doing.
Yeah.
But I am the worst person you could ask. Genuinely. There's no... Rest and sleep and do what you need to do. But for me...
Yeah.
It is it needs doing. I'm doing it. It's funny that you mentioned that. 6 new designs since MegaCon,
crazy.
since the last weekend of January. And the one thing that upsets me is that I haven't finished Senshi as well. Because it needed to be 7.
I think it's to give it for people watching, listening at home, as an idea of why that's so intense for me and so impressive, really, is we went into the first con of the year with one new design, and we've gone into this next one with like so many new designs,
in a month,
and designs that are external to the Kaiju collection as well. So just so many, and then we said a month between them, but obviously you got to think about the lead times for actually getting. It's not just a case of designing it up until the day before.
No.
You need to get everything manufactured.
So
and made.
we sent the order to the manufacturer in a week and a half ago.
Yeah.
Right on Wednesday, not last Wednesday, the Wednesday before. And we were gone for 5 days for ScotiaCon. So a month minus 2.5 weeks. That is how long it took me to do 6 t-shirts.
Yeah.
So I had to rush. But also, they're all very detailed.
They are.
And just to say, I left Senshi out because as soon as I started Senshi, I also started watching Rudo's anime. I was going to try and say it, but my brain is like, you can't say it properly, so don't. I started watching it. I watched up until maybe episode 3 or 4 while I'm working on Senshi. And I was like, no, this is what I need to work on. I am so into this right now. And the detail, the way it came out, it is definitely my favorite design. I'm so hyped about it. And maybe because I'm watching the anime while I'm working on it, which I don't manage to do very often. But also we're watching Jujutsu Kaisen at the same time. And I'm doing, I did Gojo and Gato. And I will say, when I had them on the list, I had watched season 1 and season 2 when they were first aired. And I was very like, I'll do them because I did Sukuna. And now I'm like, ooh, adding those little details because I'm really into it again. So yeah, it really helps if you watch the content of what you're working on. If you're doing birds, watch bird documentaries.
You've also... Why not? You've also... Like I said, to get it done in this time, you've also had to prioritize what sort of products you want to bring to market first with this range. And some you want to do at a later point and almost do it as its own release as well.
Yes.
What were a deciding factor for that sort of decision to be like, no, I really need this Kaiju series to be on this product ASAP?
Well, the very obvious answer is AnimeCon is happening this weekend. I wanted all the best of anime, of current anime, for the audience that is watching shows now, rather than how my mentality was before. If I did this series 2 years ago, my priority would have been to have 2 Dragon Ball designs on it, maybe a Naruto, some stuff that was nostalgic to me. That is what I would have wanted to draw. Now I have honed into curating for the audience a little bit more. And in that spirit, I've been watching a lot of new anime. I've been, trying to get off my high horse that classic anime is so much better, and I'm enjoying it a lot more, and I wanted to do something that is more relevant to the audience for AnimeCon. And that is why I focused on these designs. In the next month, hopefully, fingers crossed, our next main audience will once again be more on the lines of the MegaCon crowd, because MegaCon Birmingham will be with us, and we might be trying to release something that is more aimed towards that audience. And then the big leap towards MCM, I am going to try and do some Disney villains in this style, because at the end of the day, as much as we have all sorts of people show up at MCM, the people who spend money are the families. So we will be aiming towards that. So always have a reason why. And my reason why is things I love combined with the audience at a specific event when I'm releasing the collection.
Yeah, I think also because there's the prioritizing designs, but there's also prioritizing product that the designs go onto. And one thing that I feel like will be really interesting, and I think have a really cool outcome, is that for this one, as an example, we're having, as you'd expect, t-shirts and prints and such, but we're going to do a separate launch of the stickers.
Yes.
With our wonderful sponsors of Decal Empire and stuff.
Yes.
And I think there's actually something really important to take from that is don't think you have to do it all at once. I think actually there is potential for you to have longevity out of your series by releasing things in phases as well. So you don't necessarily have to do it all on day one. You can actually extend that campaign, I guess is the best way to phrase it.
Yeah.
And I'm actually really excited for when this range comes out on stickers.
Yes, very much so. Mostly because our collection with Decal Empire is going to be working more towards how we can use the best of Decal Empire and all the things that they can offer, from sticker sheets, hollow stickers, transparent backgrounds, blah, 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 and how we can use those techniques to make the most out of my designs rather than, I know that I want my design on this. Right? We're going to try and marry the two strong points of us and them into something that we can both be really proud of. So that will be a collection of its own, and hopefully will be either for MegaCon Birmingham or just after, and everything will be available for MCM.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be cool. I also think I think people will respond to it well online. I do really believe that. And I sort of hadn't thought about the fact, and we haven't touched on it, is the fact that actually part of this whole process of coming to market is using our audience, using social media to gain an idea of what people like, gain an idea of what products they want, and also get them hyped up for the products as well. If you follow Gilbone on social media, you would have seen on stories actually this series in the works a few times, and questions being asked about, like you said, how should I approach the text? Which version of from One Piece would you like to see? Things like that. So what do you think are the perks of actually reaching out to people to get that sort of feedback?
I think that when you reach out to your audience and ask questions about, which design should I work on next? Which version of Luffy do you think would do better? What do I do with the text? What do I do with this and that? It helps your audience almost feel a part of the process. Yeah. And firstly, in the current era that we are now, showing your process gives you credibility. It gives a sense of trust. It shows that you have vulnerability as an artist, because it is a personal process, regardless of how many people do their speed paints and all that stuff online. I very much keep my process to myself, except for when I'm in the mood to stream on Twitch, which used to be a thing, and hopefully will become again. I think it helps people connect with your work on such a different level.
Yeah.
And it is so exciting for them, and more so exciting for me when people are engaging with something new I'm working on or something I just released, because it's less of a question mark about how people are going to perceive it.
Yeah.
And it's just something like in the moment. You have no idea how motivating it is for the people who do engage with those stories. Yeah. And then I see those messages or see those replies, and I'm like, keep working.
I know in previous collections you've done through the website, you've done things like pre-orders for Ping Club and stuff like that. Do you think that's still a relevant thing these days? I say these days is because it's such a fast-moving market. It changes all the time.
It does, and I do think that online sales have dropped to a point that unless you already have that from way back when, it is difficult to get to that point now. I think it is a matter of numbers. It's a numbers game. And starting a Patreon now is so much more difficult than it was ages ago. Maybe we will try it again. I don't really do pre-orders on a website. It just never worked for me. It never made any significant numbers. To make a pre-order on a website of a pin, for example, unless you have like 50 sales at a drop of a hat, you're not funding anything. It's, and getting those 50 sales is a lot harder than one would think.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't personally try a Kickstarter, try a backer kit campaign, especially when something like Pintopia is around. But it's just not my thing. Personally, I tend to avoid that. I always pay my stuff up front.
Yeah, I think a deciding factor in that also depends where you're at in your business, because again, I think a lot of people who might be starting a collection for the first time, we talked about brand awareness. This might be their way of introducing themselves to people and being like, hi, this is how you can get to know what my style is. This is what I like to do. So if that's the case, then the idea of pre-orders and stuff won't necessarily work for you because you're more focused on that introduction of this is the series. You don't know it yet, but once you see it, you will love it. So it's a different approach. Talking of money and paying for things, new collections aren't cheap, because it's not just a case of restocking stuff that you're missing. It's restocking a whole new range, many other costs as well. What are the priority costs people need to think about when launching a new collection? Because there's quite a few to think about, really.
Well, you're obviously funding the product, the product that you're making, but also depending on if this is a new collection that you've never made anything like it. For example, it's your first enamel pin collection ever. Then you need to obviously cater for how you're going to display it. That is also money. Display items cost things. You're also factoring money for backing cards if you're doing enamel pins for the first time, and the little cello bags they go into. If you're doing t-shirts and you're folding them yourself, you need to get cello bags and little labels for clothes. If you don't have somewhere to like online test your collection, and it is going to be an online thing, you might need to put a little money aside for ads, which we hate because what the fuck. But it is something that sometimes is used. So unfortunately, you have to have some capital when releasing a new collection, which, like you said, in an ideal world, you can do through a pre-order, or you can do through Patreon or a crowdfunding campaign. But in a lot of cases, for myself, I find that these always lack the oomph that they need nowadays, which I know that you see a lot of people online who have big names who are opening their pre-orders at 10 o'clock, and then by 10:05 they're like, oh no, my website crashed because there has been so many pre-orders. We hate those people and we wish them all the best, but we still hate them. And it's very annoying, okay? But good for them. The reality is that the majority of artists do not have that luxury. So you might want to open pre-orders on your website, get a little trickle on there, try a crowdfunding campaign, get a little trickle from there, and then go to conventions, sell your previous stock, and get the rest of the money that way. That is how I do it. That's how I've been doing it since I started. That's how I still do it today, regardless of however many followers I have on social media. And it is the tried and tested method. So if you're not raking it in on that pre-order page, know that it is not just you. This is how reality is for the most of us. But I think more or less that encompasses everything we have to say about collection building and how it goes from why to collection, maybe, to doing the first few, to making it grow, to pacing it depending on what events you're launching, to ultimately funding and releasing it. And I wish you all the best in all your future collections.
Exactly. So now when you see the Kaiju collection at AnimeCon maybe, or somewhere else, you just have a small glimpse of the time and effort that went into putting it together. And like we said, hopefully it inspires you and gives you some guidance as to what to do. Because I know one thing we need in this community is all the help to each other to like give us all the pointers. Because trust me, I need them all the time.
All of the time.
All of the time.
All of the time. Now, before we go, because we have guests coming tonight,
Yes.
and they're actually waiting to come in because we're recording very last minute, as we always do. So before we leave, we wanted to talk about our hyperfixations of the week. And I think we have multiple at the moment. So I'm just going to go through two that I don't think Jay is going to mention. We really got into the summer Hikaru died. We started it while folding t-shirts. We are halfway through it. I didn't know what to expect with it. And as it turns out, it is really good. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, it's one of those anime that I don't think there's a lot of art for it. Mm-hmm. I don't think I would do anything for it. It doesn't speak to me in a way that I'm like, ooh, I want to draw this design for it. It's a bit strange. But it is interesting strange, and I really like it. Yeah. I appreciate it.
It's really good. I've been enjoying it a lot.
Yes. Yeah. You also have been actually enjoying Jujutsu Kaisen.
It's good.
Yeah. I can't wait for season 3 because I feel like Yuta might be coming back, and Yuta is my favorite character, and also Gato. Yeah. But the rest is very up in the air because you don't know who's going to live or die. That said, spoiler by the way, if you hadn't gotten to that point. Lastly, what we both have really gotten into and has been very good to keep me from burnout is Palia.
Yeah, I love that game.
We have been playing Palia together, and we would love to stream it soon.
Yeah.
But until then, it is a very nice free. We love a free game.
To play. Yeah.
It's a free sim. And you build your own house. It's very cozy vibes. It's lots of traveling, lots of mining and farming, and you do what you want, and it's very chill. There's no real goals, I guess. It's just it's very The Sims.
It's very much a cozy game. If you know the genre, you'll know what to expect. But it's a twist that it's a cozy game that's also multiplayer, massively multiplayer, not just like with your friends. It's like it's an online world, and it's probably, if you've ever played an online game, I would say it's probably got one of the friendliest communities I've seen in the game.
Everyone helps each other out. You can literally ask other people for resources with in-game stuff and they help you out. Everyone calls out where there's like a gold vein or a silver vein to mine in the chat. You go on house tours to see everyone's house. That is my favorite part. I love house building. It's why I played The Sims for so long, and now I'm really into this. It is making me want to get back into The Sims, but I actually really like the aesthetic of this more. So I'm sticking with this for some time. There's romanceable characters. There's this one stubborn miner daddy who's like does not want my affection, and I'm gonna wear him down.
Slowly but surely.
Slowly but surely. He's bae. He's a lovely man who is very protective father, a single dad that works 2 jobs. and loves his kids and never stops.
stops.
So yes, that was very much our current hyperfixations. I think that is literally it. I don't think
literally it. Yeah.
our brain is work, Jujutsu Kaisen, and Summer Hikaru died while working, and then stop work and play Palia before bed.
Yes.
And go to bed really late because we played Palia for way too long, and suddenly the sun is coming up.
Oh no.
It's like, oh, he has to wake up for work, and I need to get back to drawing more kaijus.
Yes.
So that is that.
That is that. Let us know what your hyperfixations are in the comment section, or if you
tell us if you're playing Palia.
Yes, do tell us.
Do you play?
Do you play? Do you have a house tour we can go on?
Yes.
We would like to see.
We would. Yes.
We would like to know. And thank you for listening to our guidance, our expertise,
la guidance
on new collections, and we really, really hope you enjoy the new set coming to the Kaiju collection, which you can go on the website right now and have a cheeky peek. You never know, there might be something you like. So have a look right now at gilbone.com. I guess all left to say is, if you want to find out more about the Patreon and the social medias, then you need to go to our website. All those details are at the end, as well as a thank you to our Patreon members. But until we speak to you next time, and if we don't see you this weekend at AnimeCon, bye-bye.
Bye! Why would I stick my tongue out?